Hello and welcome to today's Delta Credit Tip. So today we're talking about eliminating debt, getting it done, getting it over with, and some of the pitfalls and mistakes that we see people make in trying to accomplish this. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to show you how to eliminate that debt on today's Delta Credit Tip. Hello and welcome back to today's Delta Credit Tip. So today we're talking about eliminating debt, getting it done, breaking free, right? But there's pitfalls in trying to pay off that debt. These credit card companies, these lenders, they got a few tricks up their sleeves, but we're going to hopefully go through some of these pitfalls that we've seen some of our customers make so that you can eliminate your debt faster. So there are two types of debts. There are revolving debts and there are term loan debts. Your revolving debts are things like your credit cards and any other kind of revolving lines of credit that you may have. Term loan debts, these are your car loans, your student loans, personal loans, that sort of thing. Let's first start talking about credit cards, okay? So the cornerstone to your credit repair, as you will hear me say in previous videos and numerous videos to come, the cornerstone to your credit repair is not in your credit report. The cornerstone to your credit repair is in your bank statement. How you handle your assets will determine how you handle your debts. The first step in credit repair, you've got to get a budget. You have to have money to work with because that's what it's all about. It's all about managing your money. So in your budget, there need to be certain categories. And one of those categories needs to be what we term redirect. That is money that you are redirecting to eliminate the debt that you have. This is not your savings, by the way. Your savings needs to be a separate category because before you are done, there are going to be challenges that present themselves that will try to make you go astray from your plan. They're going to challenge your resolve to your budget. So you need to make sure you've got savings growing at the same time as you have redirect building up to apply towards your debts. Now, in creating that budget, you will list all of your credit cards and all of the minimum payments that are required of you. Okay? And then you will see that there is a specific dollar amount that you owe every month. At least now we know how much that total dollar amount is every month. Now, in eliminating credit card debt, there are a couple of ways you could do this. You can either A, pay it down organically, like we're going to show you first, or B, you can consolidate that debt with a loan or in another credit card, or you can go to a debt consolidation company. Okay? On debt consolidation companies, we'll get to that in a minute, but I'm really not a big fan of those. But let's first start talking about how we're going to pay it down organically. Okay? So you've got your regular principal plus interest payments that you're making, and let's say that number comes to $300 a month. Okay, all of your credit card payments come to $300 a month. Then you have your redirect of $100 a month. So in total, you're paying $400 a month towards your credit card debt. With me so far? So what we want to do is we want to start with the lowest balanced credit card first. Okay? What a lot of people will do is they'll make extra payments towards all their cards. Not the right thing to do because it will take you absolutely forever to do it and you're just going to be losing money in the long run. So you want to start with the smallest credit card first. And let's say that credit card payment is $25, right? So, and it's got a $300 balance. So we have a redirect of $100. So in about 3 or 4 months, that credit card is completely paid off. Well, when that credit card is paid off, you still continue to pay $400 towards your credit card debt. It's just that now that extra $25 that has been eliminated every month, you're going to be adding that to the next smallest card, right? And now you're applying that extra $25 towards that card. So what's basically happening is we've got this snowball effect towards by the time you get to the last credit card, the largest credit card that you have, the entire $400 is being put towards that card every month. Right? Now, little caveat. If you've got credit cards that are in a promotional period and there's a certain amount of time that you have to eliminate that debt before they will make you responsible for all the interest till back to day one, obviously you want to focus on those credit cards first to prevent being responsible for all the interest that they allowed you to not accumulate through the promo period. Okay? That snowball effect towards getting your credit card payments is the best technique. You're paying a fixed dollar amount every month towards your credit cards. It makes it a very predictable behavior in your budget that you can work around. And more importantly, it will drive down that principal balance every month towards your credit cards in a faster way. Okay? Now, let's talk about consolidating the debt into a loan. Big fan of that because it will reduce the required payment significantly every month. So if you continue to pay the $400 a month, because it's within your budget anyway, you will eliminate that debt even faster because of the minimized required payment. The problem is that as you learned in previous videos, if your debt to credit ratio is high, in other words, the balance on the credit cards versus the limit on those credit cards is high, that's a huge part of your score. And you may find that you don't necessarily qualify because of your credit score for a loan to consolidate your debt. Lenders don't make common sense loans. Just because you've so far made all your payments on your credit cards, right, on time, and by consolidating them, you have a lower payment that you would naturally be able to pay the smaller amount every month because you've consolidated. Banks don't think like that. They think, okay, your score is this, you don't qualify. So you want to have a competent conversation about the requirements that the bank has to get the loan. And as being an educated consumer, if you've been watching our videos, you should be, because you know what your debt to credit is, you know what your credit scores are. You can have a competent conversation as to whether or not they're going to decline you for the loan and see if that's even an option. All right? So make sure you talk to your banker, talk to the bank manager, the personal banker, the loan officer, whoever's there, and help you make that decision. Now, debt consolidation companies. Like I said, not a huge fan of debt consolidation companies, only because of the technique, right? I'm sure there is a place on this planet for every kind of company, but for me, debt consolidation companies are good at eliminating what you might owe collectively with your credit card debts, but they will destroy your credit rating in the process. And the reason why is that credit card companies are not going to negotiate the balance on your credit cards while they're still active, right? What we're talking about today is eliminating active credit card debts, not charged off debts. And the only way that a credit card company is going to negotiate on the principal balance of your credit card is by defaulting. So what the debt consolidation companies will do is they'll say, okay, stop paying everything until you default, but keep paying, but send us that money. That way they can take their fee up front, and then they can accumulate cash so that once you default, they can negotiate the balances for less than what charged off. That might take 3 months, that might take 6 months, that might take 8 months. The problem is that during that time, you've destroyed your credit beyond repair. And on top of that, you also run the risk of being sued by that credit card company. Not exactly the technique that I would recommend. Not to mention, if you are in a position where your debt load is so high that you're willing to make the decision of eliminating debt versus destroying my credit, and you're choosing destroy credit, right? You're probably a bankruptcy candidate. Because you're doing yourself harm by causing a higher interest rate on everything else that you're going to get over the next couple of years by destroying your credit. Okay? So, again, on your revolving credit cards, let's try to do it organically. Let's start with a budget and snowball our way up to the largest credit card. I am not concerned even about the interest rate unless it's a 0% interest rate. right? Because the way you eliminate interest is you eliminate time. And the only way you will eliminate time is you eliminate principal balance. Okay? So let's go on to term loan debts. These are your cars. These are your student loans, right? Specifically on cars, what we see a lot of our customers do is they will make a payment every 2 weeks. Okay? And that does eliminate that debt faster. But lenders are tricky when it comes to amortized debt. An amortized loan means that the loan is got a fixed payment and it's for a certain period of time, and every month it's the same. But while your payments are the same every month, the way they apply your payment isn't. Most amortized loans, like cars, have, even homes, have what they have, they front load the interest. In other words, you're paying interest for the beginning portion of the amortized loan. Why? Because if you stop paying, they've made their profit and they charge off the amount that you actually borrowed, right? So when you make that 2-week payment every month, what they do is they won't eliminate the principal. What they'll do is they'll eliminate the interest that they were going to charge you. And so when you go to make your next payment, they're like, oh, don't worry about it. You've paid so much the last couple of months, you don't owe us anything this month. No, don't follow that math. Don't follow that logic. That means they've been applying your payment towards the interest. And by doing that, by keeping the principal intact, they can keep charging you more interest on the same dollar, right? So what you want to do to eliminate term loan debt is you make your regularly scheduled principal plus interest payment. Let that clear, let it get done, and then call them back and do a second payment. And this time you're going to specify, this is a principal only payment, right? And by doing that, by specifying that that's the type of payment that it is, then you will start to eliminate that principal balance, thus eliminating the actual interest that you pay over the life of the loan. Okay? If you do not specify how you want that payment to be made, they're going to do it their way. Okay? Now, while we want to eliminate time on our credit card and on our term loan debt, when it comes to student loans, that could be a different story, right? Because those are stretched out for a long period of time and it's a very large dollar amount typically. With those, what you want to do is put those on an extended standard payment, or for that matter, a forbearance or whatever the case may be, so that you don't have any payment, but you still make that principal only payment every month, but you want to always cover the interest first. Cover the interest payment, do the principal balance, the principal plus interest payment, and then make a second payment towards the principal. But you want to stretch out that payment as much as you possibly can so that the required payment is minimized and you'll have more money in your pocket every month to then apply towards the principal on your second payment towards eliminating that debt. So, I hope this information helps. If it does, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe below, and most importantly, share, because this is how we become informed. This is how we make a difference. But more importantly, this is how you make a choice, make a change. Delta.